Okay, guys, so I have been following this situation extremely closely, and I thought just when you think it couldn't get any more horrific, um, this is pure evil, and I have something very disturbing to report. I had the information already, and I well, first of all, I reached out to a source. They gave me the information, and then I spoke to the source and I said they said, but reporting that could put them at risk. So I decided not to do it. This all happened since I stopped the last video. I didn't know it at that time, but since then they told me don't and I agreed. I said no. If it puts them at risk, I'm not going to report it. But I'll report it once it becomes public. Well, I just saw it somewhere. So it's already out there. So I told them I'm going live with it. Okay, so not only did this tragedy occur, but there's more to it. Um, they this these this the cartel, and by the way they're reporting it on the mainstream media is ridiculous. It's like possible cartel involvement. Possible. Come on. It's cartel involvement. Possible mistaken identity. No, it's not mistaken identity. I don't think so. At least. Especially now with this information, which is that I can say for sure one girl was taken kidnapped. And what I was also hearing is that they were raping girls, but it was plural girls. So I ended up talking to my source. I found out that now this is not fact yet. The one is there is one definitely kidnapped right now, and they're doing some sick stuff to her. But there might be as many as three, maybe even four. But I was told as many as three. So I believe in the power of prayer. I think we should all be praying um, that those that were wounded will recover. The one I'm worried about the most is the 4 month old who got shot in the chest. I just don't know how a 4 month old body could absorb that kind of trauma. So I've been praying on that 4 month old. I've been praying on all of them. I've been praying on their family. All of their family back in Utah, their family, and if I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry, but Chihuahua. This is like sucking the life out of me. And then to find out that, you know, Devin and his heroics, and even little Mackenzie and her heroics, both last name Langford. It turns out that they did kidnap at least one. One is being reported, and my source had already told me that it's as many as three, maybe four, but they're leaning three. But we both decided we weren't going to go live because that's such sensitive intel that it could, even if there was like a 1% chance that my little channel somehow that got them hurt, I wouldn't be able to ever live with myself. But now it's being reported. I saw it reported somewhere. They didn't report it accurately. They kind of danced around it. But I'll tell you straight up, they have one kidnapped, and they are doing things to her sexually. Oh, and then there's potentially actually three. Now, when I was told that there's potentially three, I don't know if that means three more or three total. That's why I say three, maybe four. But again, that's not confirmed, but that is suspected at this point from my source, and I'll be getting more soon. So it looks like this is going to be one of those stories that I might even go live again because I have a source who's on it. I heard it. We talked about it. We said we're not going live. All of a sudden, the channel I was listening to, they said we just are hearing that they might have, and they kind of danced around it. And I said, all right, they're already saying it. You know, if that's going to affect their safety, the damage is done. Um, I'd rather people be informed at this point. At first, I was, I'm still worried about their safety, and I hope that the mainstream media didn't just screw them. By the way, it was HLN. No other. I checked all the other stations. No one else talked about it, but HLN were the first ones to hint at it, but they kind of danced around it. But I'm telling you that there's definitely one kidnapped, um, and still kidnapped, and being raped, except what I was told was that the girls, plural, are being raped. So that tells me that I think it's actually more than one. Um, this is just. I'm sorry. I gotta be. One thing I have to work on is like when stories are sensitive, kind of like the one. Remember last week, all those kids. I reported all those kids across the country getting killed. Um, asphyxiated and uh, thrown in a dumpster. I don't know, I'm not going to repeat it, but you guys know the one guy who was responsible for killing two kids who were 2 years old and 3 years old. All kinds of crazy stuff. But let's stick to the story. So, for those of you just joining us, go to the last story and you'll get the whole rundown. I mean, the way they're reporting in the MSM is nothing compared to the way I reported it. I mean, I gave you everything, names, exactly what they were doing, where they were going, which families were involved, how it went down. But then afterwards, like I said, I got this intel that it's actually 3 or 4 girls that are kidnapped. Then it's reported that there's potentially, maybe, possibly, but we can't confirm that one might have been kidnapped. I guess they kind of have to do that. They have to be responsible, but I hope they didn't affect these girls' safety by saying that. So I'll tell you something right now. Yeah, Mexico Federales, they probably have a plan, but I bet you as we speak, special forces are over there getting those girls. Like I thought it couldn't get any worse. I thought it couldn't get any worse. And these poor girls are being assaulted in that way, and after what they just went through, and knowing that their parents are, the mothers are gone, their siblings, and so I guess there must have been, instead of 18, there was anywhere from 19 to 22 people. Right now, we'll say 19, but potentially up to 22 people. Because I can tell you there's one that's definitely kidnapped. And I'm not going to repeat the other thing. I already said it a couple times. You guys know what's going on with her. And it's disturbing and sick. And it shows how evil these people are. And there's potentially either 3 more or 3 altogether, including her. I can report that to you, and you won't hear that anywhere else. Um, all right, Philly, stop looking at me. All right, so everybody, the power of prayer. Please pray, um, and know that the good guys are on it. They are on it. So, as soon as I get updated, you will get updated. And if my source is watching, If you have anything else, please text. That way I can give it right here and now. But then again, um, something that I agree, both him and I agree that, you know, it's better to get it right and also make sure that what you're reporting isn't going to get anyone hurt. Even though I'm a small channel, I mean, somehow I was able to break, I don't know how, but I broke Q and Al Baghdadi before anyone else. So that's just in the past like week and a half. Um, I'm not bragging or anything, you know what I mean? I just work hard to try to get the real info to my audience. Um, and then people like RTP wonder. I'm not even gonna talk about that stuff. Okay. Anyway, so does anyone? I'm gonna read chat. Does anyone have questions or anything? So let me see. I'm gonna go all the way back. I prefer a red pill, not pill. I'm just kidding. um, yeah, I'm doing my best. Yes, and it's a sad. I agree, Mark. No, it's a sad day for all families traveling abroad. I'm telling you that they messed up. That Trump already said it. He already basically said it. Like there's gonna be a response. The Mexican federales cannot handle them. The last time they got in a firefight with them, they gave up. It's just, and I don't blame them. Like they're going up against something way more powerful than them. The only other place you see that in the world is like places like Afghanistan. The military can't go up against the Taliban. The Taliban's more powerful without us there. Um, like if we weren't there, the Taliban would just take over um, provinces again. Um, Same thing with places like Iraq and I mean, at least Syria's military seems to be the strongest military, but that's only because of the backing of Russia. But Mexico is one of those weird places. I mean, we do so much in the Middle East, yet in our own backyard, it's not just Mexico, it's a lot of South America. And you know what? They're so poor, they have no choice but to push drugs. That's just what they do. And we're the consumers, we're the one consuming it. If there wasn't such a high demand, there wouldn't be such a problem. But when pharmaceutical companies start misinforming, like I was misinformed about Oxycontin, I knew nothing about pills. And I got into Oxycontin when I got out of the military. And I knew nothing about pills. I really believed that I couldn't get addicted. Well, I kind of knew just because I saw people and I could tell that, like, it, it wasn't like marijuana where it's like you want it but you don't need it type of thing. Whereas it was starting to lean towards they need it, and ended up wiping out a generation, and now we have a whole generation of children coming up, and it was unbelievable. I remember at Malden High School, they had this thing, and there was all the kids whose parents had OD'd had written these like things and held up these pictures. It literally looked like a whole class of kids. It was unbelievable how many kids were there and how many kids are in the system, and the system sucks. That's why, one thing, if you're gonna have a child, make sure that you get your shit together. I mean, if you have no responsibility and you're single, I advise against it. You know, Maybe smoke some weed if really like have that anxiety. It's like we're to blame in a way because of our consumption. But at the same time, all those drugs that were brought in during the war on drugs, they brought in drugs and then had a war on drugs that was obviously unsuccessful and made things worse and affected the black community wicked bad. Now it's the heroin affecting the white community wicked bad, and Purdue Pharmacy is totally screwed. Although I think they got off easy, despite the multi billions of dollars that they're gonna have to settle. Is that going to the heroin addicts and their families? No, it's gonna go to local governments, and then they, and then somehow it filters in, and a good percentage of it ends up in one man's pocket somehow. It's always how it works. Hopefully, Trump can have someone overlook that whole thing so that doesn't happen. But yeah, that's just how I feel. I mean, I don't know. Anyone that lives up here, you guys would understand. And I understand it's like that in other parts of the country too. It's like that everywhere. When you watch Live PD, you see all these different places in the country. And there's certain areas that are so. It's just we are infested with this crap. It's so important to keep kids off it. Because then the cartel loses their power. But because so many Americans are dying and using, they are so powerful that the federales can't take them on. And now that they just did this to these American families who are just trying to live and you know um, practice their faith, there was actually another little tidbit that I can't say. I just can't say it. There's one more little tidbit of information that kind of relates to it, but I can't say it. I can't say it. Um, I'm sorry, I can't say it. Not yet, at least. I can't say it. But you guys will see. But yeah, so the new report is one is definitely kidnapped, and I don't want to say it again. This will be the last time, but she's being sexually assaulted. Okay, and there's potentially either three more, or what I think is more likely is maybe like a total of three. So maybe, the one that they halfway reported plus two, or it's one plus three. I'm just not sure yet. That was the only thing that wasn't clear. The total number of girls, was it three or four, or was it just one? I mean, I was hearing three or four. Hi, baby. 1 minute, okay? Almost done. And then we'll play? Yeah? What do you want to do? Yeah? Do you want the bike? Yeah? Okay, we'll do that. Okay. Yeah. Just a little later. Give me 10 minutes. Okay. I love you. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Yeah, I know. But as soon as I'm done, we'll go on the bike. After. Okay? I'm talking. I can't let you on here. Yeah. Yeah. The whole world is right there. Yeah. No, they can't see it yet. Oh, don't take off my hat. You want to take off the glasses? Yeah. All right, so we'll go on the bike, okay? Yeah. Just give me 1 minute. Sorry, guys. Okay, so any questions, any concerns, any intel, anything? Let me see. Red Pill, how long did it take for you to receive PayPal donations? They would be instant. But the only thing that I've noticed in the past is like when Kelly sent me one, like you don't get a notification, so you gotta like check. And I checked a couple days ago, there was nothing. Like the day when I was like, guys, I could, I'm really working hard here. If you guys could do some donation, I'd appreciate it. I checked that night, there was nothing, so I was just like, forget it. I haven't checked it since. Why? I'm curious why you're asking that. They're signaling to the white. They're signaling to the white folks. I don't know what that means. And who is Stinky? Stinky at Stinky. Who's Stinky? I don't know what you're talking about. Sickos. Yeah, I agree. At Stinky. I don't know who that is, but they're signaling to the white folks. Okay. How? Yeah, it like just when you think it couldn't get any worse, it like it took a quantum leap for me. Now we're talking about doing that type of stuff. Yeah, disgusting. Leave it. The baby's out of it. I mean, but I have to report accurately, unfortunately. Um, if you're talking about them, they don't care. They just, I mean, the grandmother, she came out public. She was so angry. I don't even want to say what she said, but she was, well, whatever else. Now I teased it, but she was like flipping out. She goes, "This cannot stand. I need justice or something like that. My grandbabies are burned." I think she was talking about the twins and the 2.5-year-old, and they must have been in the car that was burned. That's the one where I don't think anyone from that family made it, the Miller family, unless some of the missing, whether it's 1, 3, 4, whatever the number is, unless one of them are a Miller. But from what I understood, that was the whole family. Um, Farmington. Interesting. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? These girls need our prayers. Yes. Oh, there's Stinky. Okay. I was like, who's she referring to? Hi, Stinky Moon. Um, gotcha. I'm in Rio Rancho. Taking a quick lunch. I was actually watching your other vid on this one you saw you put. Yeah. Yep. I had, unfortunately, this to add. And I found out, probably about, 10 minutes after the video. But we decided that it was a good idea to keep it on the DL because it might, even if it has a small chance of, hurting their chances to survive, I didn't want to do it. But then when I saw the MSM do it and do it in a very sloppy, indirect way, which they kind of have to do, I guess, because, the MSM, if they get something wrong, God forbid, I mean, they get things wrong 24/7. But when it comes to something like this, I understand you have to be cautious. But um, I studied enough about it that I'm saying some of these things with confidence. It's definitely the cartels. Um, it's, you know what I mean? They wouldn't even say that. I don't know why. You know why? I know. I'm thinking it was CNN. I mean HLN, and they're left leaning and they hate bad publicity anything south of the border. They hate them looking like rapists and the stuff that Trump says. They hate when anything like that is confirmed that they're murderers and all that. And no, the Mexican people are not saying that they are, but there is a faction, and the police help them, and it is the cartel. And as the consumers, we kind of created that monster. But, we're trying to feel better from drugs. People who are getting high and doing the hard stuff, they have problems. And these people make it so they have. If that stuff wasn't around, they're still going to find something. But the fact with the fentanyl, really, you got to blame China. I don't blame Mexico as much as I blame China for the fentanyl. And Trump actually gave President Xi a warning about the fentanyl. He sent like barrelfuls of fentanyl, and like cops have to wear gloves because if a speck touches their skin, supposedly they could die. I always didn't really believe that, but I guess it's true. I don't know anything about fentanyl. Um, Besides what it is, I don't know like how much or what it exactly looks like, but or how much it takes to get high or kill you or what. I don't know. But I know it's sought after. You know what's crazy? If somebody dies, all of a sudden, all of the junkies, and I hate to call them that because I don't like supporting the stigma. In fact, I try to fight against the stigma, so I hate myself that I just said junkie. But the drug addicts, they see that someone died and they know fentanyl was in it. Guess what? They want to know who his dealer is so they can get it. Because they're thinking, well, I'm just going to do a little bit, and at least I know it's really good. So, like, we're to blame in a way, but that is no excuse for the type of stuff that these guys do. I mean, these guys are flooding our country with these drugs, and we are more connected, right? There's been, at one point, like 30, 40 people in here today, right? At one point. And we're all connected. We're all talking. We're all communicating. Yet people have never been more lonely and alone and starving for actual like human contact and touch. Talking online helps, but it's different than in person. People are getting worse at picking up on normal social cues, and because I'm at the age where I had already grown to a full adult. For a male, just so you know, your brain is not fully grown until you are 25. That's when your brain has fully grown. A female, I believe it's younger, something like 21, 22. But a male brain doesn't fully form until 25. So by the time I was 25, we didn't have all this social media. It had just started, like, when I was like 26, 27. So I had already, gone through all my trials and tribulations and relationships and friendships and grew up in a certain way. Um, and to be honest, you guys wouldn't even believe the stories I have from growing up. You guys wouldn't even believe it. But that has nothing to do with this story. I'm just trying to make the point that if you are under, I would say, under 28, you might have, you know what I mean, like some social cue, or you don't have as much human interaction. There's so much internet interaction, and the reason we're addicted to it is because it's freaking great. You have all the information in the world at your fingertips. You know, it's unbelievable, but there's drawbacks to it as well. So I'm not seeing anything new from the source. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything new. Let me just read some of these. But just so you know, yes, there is definitely one kidnapped, and what I'm hearing, it's actually potentially as many as three. But I don't know if that means three total or three more. That's the only problem. So don't quote me on that, but I will report that at least one is kidnapped and being raped, sexually assaulted. And I'll tell you one thing. Now I know for a fact the military is well, I assume for a fact that the military is going to respond. Our military. Theirs as well. It'll be a joint operation. But our military will lead the way. This isn't gonna just go away. All right, it's one thing. It's like they caught them in the crossfire. Even then, based on see, Trump already knew what I'm reporting now, so that's why he was already talking military intervention. Of course, CNN's like, "What's he saying? I mean, what does he mean by that?" And if one of the subs guys, sometimes like during in the middle of a story, if one of you guys just like remind people to do thumbs up, share this video, share the last video, get the word out. And when you do get the word out, if you could, write whatever you want, but just if you are a Christian or whatever, or if you're a person of faith, whatever your faith is, just add in, please pray. Because I honest, honest to God, really, I do. I really do believe in the power of prayer. The power of prayer is something that is not measurable by science, but there's been times when I've been in tough situations and I know people are praying for me and it's around bedtime and that's when people do their praying and I just like feel this like presence. It's happened like on like 5 different occasions in my life. Even if it's just one person, prayer does matter. Um, Also, if you guys check out the channels, on my, how I post things. I post pretty good stuff. I try to post really good videos or information on my, you go to my YouTube and then you go over to like community and I post things there. The last thing I posted there, by the way, hey, I'm back. I'm back. For those of you who are not watching live, I just went away for a little bit. And it's because what I was about to say, and any of you who already saw what I put in my community post know exactly why that just happened. So I'm going to say it really quick. Although the only reason I'm a little bit hesitant now is because that just happened, and I don't want to ruin this reporting that I just did. But I'm going to go with it anyway. On the community, this is the most banned man in the world. You know, 10 times more of an influence than Alex Jones. In fact, he, as far as waking up, he himself had the biggest effect on me. And his name is Bill Cooper, William Cooper, Bill Cooper. And if you guys ever heard Behold a Pale Horse, I put the audio to Behold a Pale Horse on my community page on the Red Pill News Dispensary. So when you click on the Red Pill News Dispensary icon, which by the way is a microphone, if you look, it's a microphone that's actually a red pill instead of a microphone, but it's shaped like a microphone. Just so you know what that symbol is. Some people were confused by it. But so if you go to that, you go to community, you'll see I always post like videos or funny stuff and but this one's serious. If there was ever something that I would say is like a must watch or in this case listen to because it's the audio version, Behold a Pale Horse. I mean, that's like waking up and Truth 101. Bill Cooper, Behold a Pale Horse. He was taken out. It's almost like, think of him like the Alex Jones of today if he was never compromised about 3 years ago when he was compromised, in my opinion. Um, it's when he was going through the divorce, I believe. That's when he got compromised. They had him by the balls. Um, but he did a lot of good. Um, Some people think he was always compromised. See, people always have to generalize things, and I mean, I've been called CIA. I'm not CIA, obviously. You know, for those of you who've been watching me since the beginning, when, you know, I mean, come on. So yeah, that's on the community page right now. If you guys want to check that out, and if you've never seen it or heard it, Bill Cooper from the 90s, he predicted so much. And that's the thing. A real truther, you won't realize their greatness until years later. And chances are they'll be dead. I don't care how old they are. They would have died in some freakish way, but their truth will survive and it'll stick out amongst all other truth. And that's what Bill Cooper is to me. And he woke me up more than anybody. Then I started listening to Anthony Patch and Richie from Boston. And by the way, the reason I posted it was because Richie from Boston posted it, and I started listening to it, and it just brought back all these memories. I'm like, wow. I was like, this had the biggest influence on me than anything. So I posted it. So thank you, Richie from Boston. You're the man. I always get your back, brother. You know, it's not just because he's from Boston. It's because he's a good man, a Christian man, and when we're on YouTube, we have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends on YouTube, but how many of them do I actually get to meet, shake their hands, look them in the eyes, you know, and talk to them? Really, the only ones I've met and looked in the eyes and talked to are Richie from Boston and Anthony Patch. And they are both tremendous people, God fearing Christians, and I respect them both immensely and in different ways. Anthony Patch, I think he is the most intelligent asset of the truth community. Anthony Patch, Patch. I talk about him a lot. He's an expert on CERN, quantum physics, D wave, anything to do with nuclear. He's a physicist, author. He's everything. He does so much. And then Richie from Boston, he is bringing, like, I mean, just droves of people back to God. I see it, and he has a very simple way that he does things, and that's that, and his little catchwords, but it's just simple, to the point, and I think that's why it catches. And he doesn't change. And when he talks about prepping, well, it's because when I met him and he opened up the back of the truck, he could live out of that truck. And then he didn't even have all his equipment. He just happened to be dropping off because I won a 5-ounce coin, which actually I can show you guys real quick if you want to see it. And by the way, I just got a text, so this might get interesting. Might. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. It depends on what the text is. But yeah, Richard from Boston dropped this off. The 5-ounce coin. I still have it. If you guys followed RTP, you'd think I would have pawned it and, you know, did all kinds of crazy stuff. But no, 5 ounces of silver and one coin. It's pretty cool. On the back, it says George Rogers Clark, 2017, Indiana. So any folks from Indiana probably know that, understand, who probably know who George Rogers Clark is. Looks like Revolutionary War. But yeah, and then, of course, it's like the Washington. Same thing as like a quarter, and it's heavy, very heavy. Um, Let me check that text. All right, so this is very interesting. I was just reading some of the stuff that was sent to me. It's all fact. You guys remember I asked before. I said, where are the husbands? Well, it seems like that's the same question being asked by my source. I'm not saying it's being asked by people investigating or anything like that. I'm just saying that my source was curious about that as well. Like, where's the husband in all this? Because maybe that's the cause, you know? That's one of the first things I said. But what's very interesting about this is where they were headed in Mexico. It's like this like town of, I believe they're like all Mormon or ex-Mormon. I believe they're all Mormon actually, because they were talking about their faith. Some of the family was talking about their faith. Um, hey, if I go away again, it's not me being shut it off. Now my battery's low. But anyways, this town has 3,000, over 3,000 people, and they are all American dual citizens of Mexico. And I believe, I know that for a fact, but then I believe that they are all connected to the Mormon religion. Now, are they just, spreading their religion, which is fine. That's normal. Or are they trying to get away from the religion? Certain religions, there's certain rules, and I wouldn't know. I'm not Mormon, but and I have nothing against Mormons. I love Mormons. I think Mormons are some of the most honest people I ever met in my life. Um, but that's, if we're talking about this story, and we are, these people were killed. The three women, the 6 children, the 8 more children wounded, the other one boy who ran, and amongst the wounded is a 4 month, 4 year, 4 year old that was shot in the back, and a 9 month old that was shot in the chest. I just don't know how his little frame could handle that, but word is he's still alive. And this isn't fact, but it is a little bit curious that there might be something more going on than meets the eye. We know that Pelosi and Schiff are slowly being exposed at the Capitol right now. Um, the deep state. See, this is why I feel like there's definitely something, maybe more going on. One, because the story keeps changing. It goes from, this horrific story of a shooting that might have been a mistake to it's not a mistake to we're gonna strike them to actually they have kidnapped some girls or a girl, depending on what the truth actually is. Um, from my source, it was um, potentially up to 3 women. But the only thing I'm not clear on that if it's 3 more women or 3 women total, because all I heard reported was 1 woman kidnapped. But things keep coming out. You know how these stories go. But the thing is, the deep state right now is on the run. And if anyone's out there like rolling their eyes, if you don't realize that the deep state is real and that they were alive and well and affecting each and every one of our lives up until Trump became president, then you are purposely like pouring bleach in your eyes and blinding yourself. I don't know why you would do that. You have to keep an open mind. And this isn't even keeping an open mind. It's obvious. They even say it. Even the politicians say it now. They say, well, yeah, it's the deep state. But they try to flip it. They're like, but the deep state are people with actual credentials that actually know what they're doing. Well, in some cases, as far as like SES, like senior executive members, or I forget what the last S, senior executive, senior executive. I want to say service, but anyways, those are like they're not elected, yet they know as much, if not, if actually even more than an elected politician, which is totally unconstitutional. And they have like these like lifetime appointments, and then they're always in the government. And then they eventually, when they do leave, they go to be a CEO of some company that, they arrange some kind of shady deal, and then they go to some company that benefits from that deal. There's all kinds of shady stuff going on. Trump's been fighting against the deep state, but it's like what's his name said, Chuck Schumer. If you guys ever seen the interview, and he said it while Trump was president as a warning. He said, "You mess with the intelligence agencies, they have 10 ways to Sunday to fuck you up." And that's basically a true statement. And you can see the evidence of it in how they treat Trump with the media. The media is totally bought and paid for, just like someone I know, and it's ever since Obama passed the Smith-Mundt Act, because we used to have a ban on propaganda so that there was no propaganda. But now propaganda is allowed in this country. Does that not does that make anyone go, "What?" I thought the Chinese and the Russians and the Cubans, Iranians, I thought they were the ones who do the propaganda. I mean, they do, but we had a ban on propaganda for all these years. And in 2011, Obama, that this is another this is a huge, by the way, guys, I just dropped something. I've dropped it a couple times, but can you pick up that red pill? Because in 2011, the Smith-Mundt Act, MUNDT. I know I've talked about it before, but it bears repeating because not everyone knows it. The Smith-Mundt Act, there was a ban on propaganda, and this act lifted the ban on propaganda. It's unbelievable. I don't know how they pulled that off. I even saw there was a time when the communications, kind of like the person who comes to the podium speaks on behalf of the president. I can't think of the name right now. Anyways, the one for Bill Clinton was talking. As she's talking, she finds out. So she starts talking. She goes, and fake news is getting to the point where, it's almost like propaganda. But, propaganda is illegal. And someone in the audience said, "What? No, no, no. Propaganda, they just lifted the ban on propaganda, basically making propaganda legal in 2011, because this recording was like 2014." And she goes, "Really?" She goes, "Well, if that's true, that makes total sense, because you know it was about 2011 when everything changed as far as like the media." um and if you guys, I saw that someone, wow, Brian Cole, thank you so much. Keep up all your good work, brother. Thank you for your service and time spent to get all the real info out. Thank you so much, Brian Cole. I appreciate that so much. I really do. I just have to figure out how to get my money out of YouTube. I still have never gotten $1 from YouTube. I haven't figured out. I set up my AdSense account, which is like for ads, but I've never figured out how to actually get the money mailed to me or put into an account. So thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate it. That means a lot that people are doing that. And if anybody does want to donate, I didn't put anything on this video, But if you do want to donate, go to the last video, and the best place to donate is to PayPal, because I want to get this channel up and running. Where I already got a mic, but it was like a small mic. I want one of those big ones. I want to have like like an actual like workstation, and I'll probably be putting most of my own money into it, but any little bit helps. And I didn't want to talk about this with this story, but I did write it in the description of the last story, because it's been there since actually yesterday's video. But the first three people, if you and guys, only donate if you can afford it. Seriously, like right now, I couldn't donate to anything, no matter how much I care about them. But if you were to donate, if anybody was well off enough that they could donate, over $50, the first three people, and I don't think there'll be even one, but the first three people, because I want to give more people the opportunity that donate off over 50, are going to also get. They're going to be the first people to get Red Pill News Dispensary merchandise. They can kind of pick, shirt, hat, mug, things like that. I'm just gonna. Oh, sorry, that was me, by the way. But instead of having like a Patreon, and like, I hate it how people have Patreon. It's like, then what? You save the good information for people who pay. It shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't have to pay for information. My information is free. I'm just saying, if anybody wants to help the channel, that the best way is through PayPal. And you can find the PayPal on every single video except for this one. Because I had to go live quick. Because I was like, as soon as I heard the MSM report it, I was like, I got to report this too. But if anyone wants to donate, PayPal is the best way. I don't get alerts. So if anyone has donated, forgive me. I wouldn't know yet, but I'll check it later. And if anyone donates on the next video, trust me, I will address it. And anything that's donated, for specific equipment, like for instance, like Kelly Kibo, she was the one that donated. She is the one person who's donated twice to me, and she was generous, and that's why my computer is the Kibo computer, the Kelly computer. Someone else could be, I don't know, the not to bust your balls, but the Scott Smith mic. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like I'll say it all the time. Oh, this mic, yep, Scott Smith got me this mic. Stuff like that. But really, the incentive, or I should say, promotion, is that I am going to have some Red Pill News Dispensary merchandise. Just because, like, I'm not getting any donations, but I'm putting a lot of work into it. And I thought, you know what? I think people actually would like to have like a cool like Red Pill um, shirt. You know what I mean? They don't have to say the Red Pill News, but I could kind of make it cool. And I don't know. So the first three people that donate over 50 will be the first three people to have the merchandise, and they can pick what they want. There'll be like three different choices, maybe four, and you can pick what you want, whether it's a shirt, mug, what was the other thing? Hat. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the hat. That's the one I'm not sure on. And then like a longer sleeve, kind of like a hoodie thing, which is probably what you'll pick because that's the most expensive one. But whatever, that's fine. That's what it's all about. The first three people that donate over $50 will be the first three people to get the Red Pill News merchandise, and that, I mean, before anyone. Like, Amanda's not getting nothing, nothing. Like, the second I get them, those three people, I send it out to them. All right, that's done, and I am so happy that's done because I feel so awkward even talking about it. But I do put a lot of hard work into it, so since donations aren't happening, I thought, hey, maybe I'll just do merch or something. And I don't know. Just I'm trying my best to work hard and get you guys the truth. So, um, to repeat the new news, watch the last video if you don't know what's going on, and trust me, you will get a 10 times more thorough description. I watched Fox News version, HLN, some local station here in Boston, and CNN. I watched all of their reporting. They're like dancing around little facts, and I give you the straight facts. And I guarantee you that in the end, those are going to be the exact facts. But since then, after that video, I got some information. At first, I wasn't going to bring it forward because what the source told me, he was like, he was saying, listen, if you go and say this, it could put them in danger. At the time, I was told 3, maybe 4 girls kidnapped and being. I've already said it too many times. I'm not going to repeat it. If you're just joining me, use your imagination. I think you know what they're doing to these girls. But I do guarantee that there's special forces right now that are probably either in the air or in the middle of an operation or just finished an operation or they are going over the plan for the last time before, they're already up in the C-130, but they're going over the plan. I'm telling you that there's going to be, especially with the kidnapping stuff, that it's going to be interesting what news comes out of that. And I have a source who's right on it because um, the news, it should have never said anything. And it was about 20 minutes after he told me, and all of a sudden I hear them mention, we are just hearing that there's potentially, maybe, but we don't know, so we're not, it's not confirmed, but there could be one girl missing. And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, I texted him, I'm like, listen, the MSM just mentioned it, I'm going with it. So I went with it, and that's what this video is. And it's gone long, and I didn't mean for it to go this long. I'm sorry for kind of rambling, but at the same time, I'm kind of hoping to hear more intelligence. And I did get more intelligence. It's just I did get more intelligence. It's kind of like a theory, that with what's going on in the Capitol right now with Pelosi and Schiff, how much involvement does that have with this really? And with one girl and potentially up to 3, maybe even 4 girls being kidnapped and treated in this way. Oh, thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. Kelly put the link for the donation. But anyway, so with them being treated this way, that way anybody who watches later, they can see the link in live chat. If you're watching later and you feel like you want to help out. And like I said, you could tell me what piece of equipment, and I'll just name it after you, and I'll always remember who paid for it. But so the three of they're reporting one, but I'm saying there's probably more than one. But the weird part is where they were heading is this place where there's like over 3,000 dual citizens. They're citizens of the U.S. and Mexico. Now, if it's just like, think of it like a missionary, right? For Mormons, well, then that makes more sense, right? But I don't know. For some reason, my source was thinking they weren't saying that it's nefarious, but they were just mentioning, like, not exactly normal either, a little different. So who knows? There might be more to come out. And the source mentioned he must have missed part of my video because I said the same exact thing. What about the fathers? Because if they own a business and they owe money, it would make a lot more sense, right? It's called Colonial Juarez Community of People, dual citizenships. I have friends and family there. Okay, negotiator. This is good. All right, thank you. See, this is what I need. Some actual solid intel like that. Now, is that in Chihuahua? And am I pronouncing that wrong? Negotiator. Is that in Chihuahua? And am I negotiating that wrong? Or is it in Sonora? Is it in Sonora or Chihuahua? And and when I say Chihuahua, am I saying it wrong? Oh, Kelly, so you have a wiki. So what did it say about it, Kelly? I'm just waiting for the negotiator to respond because I'm curious. I want to know. I just know that there's over 3,000 people in this community, and like I said, they're practicing their religion, or who knows? They could be maybe even trying to. They all were raised in that religion, but maybe they kind of want to get away from like some of the rules. I don't know. I don't know. That's all speculation. Or maybe they're die hard about their military and they're trying to spread the word like missionaries. Um, no, you're correct. The Mormon community settled in there, buddy. Team 60s. They were polygam. I actually gathered when I saw how many children were involved and that the ages were like, you know, 4 months, 2 years, 3 years, 6 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10, 12, 13. I'm like, this has to be a polygamous situation. And like three women it seemed like a polygamous situation. So I figured that. So negotiator says, no, you're correct. The Mormon community settled in team, their buddy team 60s. They were polygamists that had family, did not want to split them up. The U.S. government made it out loud, so they went to. I'm not sure if it's in Sonora, Mexico, or Chihuahua. There's a couple communities. I think one in Sonora, one is in that. Hey, negotiator, that's exactly correct. There's a community in Sonora, and I think the one in Chihuahua is a little bit bigger. I just don't know if I'm saying it right, but literally, if you look at the word, like he just wrote it. If anyone wants to see the word, so Chihuahua. Um, they're right there, all at the state line, we would call it. Yeah, and just in case you guys, I said this in the last video. I'm just assuming that this is right on the border. It's in northeast Mexico, right on the border. And they were traveling from one of these type of communities in Sonora to Chihuahua, and that's why I know a negotiator got good intel right now. He knows what he's talking about. People can say what they want about Wiki, but tons of info there. Absolutely, Kelly. Absolutely. Even some of the mainstream. I mean, you can get nuggets of truth everywhere. You just got to put it together. You know, it takes time. Like as far as like researching. So there is just a handful of polygamists left. Everybody there does not practice polygamy anymore. Okay, all right. So maybe I stand corrected. I just found it odd that the kids are like, you know, it's like for a minute, like I kind of like forget. Oh man. But yeah, their ages are so close that my mind went there automatically. I was like, are they polygamous? I wasn't gonna report it because I don't know. It's just a thought. Um, but Anyways, guys, stand by. I have a feeling there's gonna be more information. Sorry about that. I have no idea how that one just happened. I'm just sitting here. It just literally, it didn't do what did what it normally. Normally, it just shuts down altogether, the whole phone. But this time, it just went away and went to YouTube, and all I saw was FBI Director Christopher Wray is testifying. I believe at the Senate Judiciary, but we'll see. So that's something very interesting. If you're not at work, I would check that out because he's one of the major players. If Q is real, he's one of the major players. Not he's. I don't think he's the FBI director. He took over for Crooked Comey and he's cleaning things up. But the ones who are it's going to be Horowitz, and then the hammer is going to come down with the Bulldog Durham. Mark my words. Um, and if I'm wrong, I will eat crow. Um, that's how I am, but that's how confident I am as well. So, guys, I'll check in and as soon as I get more. And like I said, please thumbs up, share this, and when you share it, if you are a person of faith, mention something about praying. Everyone says thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers, but they're empty words. You know, um, I don't know. When I wrote mine, I tried to spice it up a little bit. And kind of that's why I got a little bit graphic when I didn't need to, because sometimes you really need to like kind of like hit those heartstrings, and people will hit their knees and pray hard. And I'm not trying to manipulate anybody, but at the same time, we need to pray for these poor girls because no matter what the situation is, they have victims. Like right now, there's about three different scenarios in my head. In all three, they are total victims. So we need to pray for them. We need to pray for our special operators. Okay, and I think everything's gonna work out. Um, and also, watch Capitol Hill today and the rest of the week. That's all I can say about that. Just watch it though. Capitol Hill. All right, guys. Red Pill, Red Pill News Dispensary. I'll be checking in as soon as I have more info on this subject, or if not, I will just do one of the videos I've been waiting to do later on tonight. Red Pill News Dispensary. Out.